A large percentage of the homes, the offices, the classrooms, the buildings where we spend nearly 90% of our lives are quietly contaminated with a known carcinogen. Not a rare one, not something exotic you would have to go looking for. A common one that sits in the very same classification of the World Health Organization, reserved for tobacco, smoke, or asbestos. And almost everyone living besides it has no idea it is there. I am not talking about something you carry in. I am talking about something that may already be growing inside the walls, beneath the floors, breathing into the same air when you sleep at night. And this is mold. Here is what the science actually shows. The EPA estimates that somewhere between a third and a half of the buildings in this country hold the damn conditions mold needs to take a root. Nearly half of American homes already show signs of mold or water damage. In commercial buildings, the number is still higher. Most have a history of water intrusion. But the figure that tells the real story is this one. When researchers asked people about their own homes, more than 3 out of 4 were certain their home and have never had a mold problem, while the true number sits close to half. Sit with that gap for a moment. Nearly half of homes affected, 3 in 4, were convinced it could never be them. And that is why this reaches all the way into your biology. Certain molds produce compounds called mycotoxins, and a number of those, the aflatoxins, are classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as Group 1 carcinogens. Group 1 is the highest designation there is. It means known to cause cancer in humans. So if you have been living with symptoms that no one can name and every test keeps returning normal, I want you to stay with me, because the thing standing between you and your health may be inside your body at all. It may be inside the very place you feel safest. Let me tell you about one patient, because somewhere in his story, I suspect you will recognize your own. When he first sat across from me, he said something I have never been able to forget. He said, "I feel I'm being poisoned in my own home." He had no proof of it yet, no name for it, only the deep, unshakable sense that something in his environment has turned onto him. And what he wanted was not extraordinary. He wasn't chasing some optimized biohack version of himself. He wanted his life back. The energy to move through a day without a crash. A mind that felt clear instead of submerged in fog. A sleep that actually restored himself. And to that anxiety that arrived for no reason that he could not pinpoint it. Every report says everything is fine. By the time he reached out to me, he already had done everything he had been told to do. Doctor after doctor, binders of huge labs, hundreds of medications, supplements, elimination diets. He spent already a small fortune, and still he had the same verdict. Everything looks normal. And then, eventually, the quieter cruelty. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's just in your head. He walked in crying through belief I see in nearly everyone who sits in that chair. And until we loosen up their grip, nothing else could move. The first thing, if the test found nothing, there must be nothing to find. But mold is one of the most hidden burdens in all medicine. It lives behind drywalls, under subflooring, inside the ductwork, places no eye can catch and no 15-minute appointment will ever examine. A clean panel does not mean a clean body. It usually means no one has yet looked where the answer is buried. Now, the second thing, whatever fixes, this must be something I take. The perfect binder, the perfect protocol, the perfect detox. That belief has kept him reaching out for years. But this is the truth about mold that reorders everything. You cannot supplement your way out of the exposure. You are still living inside. As long as the source keeps feeding the load of the body, it never gets the condition it needs to recover. And the third thing, the heaviest one of all, my body is broken. My body has turned on to me. That was the belief I most wanted to lift off his shoulders. Because what if his symptoms were never evidence of a body that had failed? What if they were evidence of a body that was working flawless, sounding a clear, intelligent alarm about the real toxin in his world, and no one had ever paused to ask where that alarm is coming from? That was the moment when everything turned around. Because when he walked in, the first question was, where do you live? Where did this begin? Has your home ever flooded, leaked, or carry a must smell that eventually stopped noticing? And his expression shifted because the basement has flooded 2 years earlier, almost to the week that everything began to unravel. Here is what I need you to understand, because it is the whole of it. In the terrain model of medicine, we do not start with the invader. We start with the soil. Your health is not a fortress under siege by one enemy. It is one ecosystem, and that ecosystem includes the air you breathe and the four walls you close around yourself every night. Mold is rarely the lone actor. It travels with a whole web. Inflammation that will not settle, an immune system that has lost its bearings, a nervous system locked at high alert, depleted reserves, and detox pathways that have been carrying far too much for far too long. I will not walk you through every step of his plans because that's personal. This is different from everyone. And everyone that comes through my doors, they're different. What matters is the question itself. We stop asking, how do we quiet these symptoms? And began for asking, what is this person's body and his person's environment is keeping the whole system from doing what is already known how to do? That single question changes everything that follows. He was no longer chasing for symptoms in circles. He was tending the source. As slowly, the way a depleted garden comes back, not overnight, but unmistakable. The pieces he thought were gone for good began to return. Around 6 months ago, he told me he read an entire bedtime story to his kids. That weekend, cover to cover without losing the thread, something he hasn't managed in years. Not because we discovered a miracle, because we finally tend the right ground. If you carry one thing away from his story, let it be this. Your body is not broken. Your body is brilliant. Every symptom you have been fighting in is your biology doing precisely what it was built to do. Adapting, protecting, sounding an alarm about something real. The fatigue, the fog, the anxiety that come from nowhere, those are not malfunctions. They are intelligence. They are a message that the day you stop treating your body as the enemy and start treating it as an ally, it has always been the entire conversation about how your health begin again from the ground up. For the right person, that is not a fantasy. So let me leave you not with a prescription, but with an invitation. If something in his story settles in your chest And if you have been carrying symptoms that no scan, no panel, and no specialist has ever been able to name it, there is a link just below this video, and it opens a short application to begin a conversation with us at the Grossgold Clinic. This is not another protocol, not another label to add in the pile. It's a genuine, personal look at the whole terrain. So that together, we can find what has been hidden in the plain sight. For years, my team and I have been helping hundreds of patients trace their symptoms back to the hidden roots underneath them. Mold and environmental exposures, most people are never taught to question and rebuild from the soil up. Mold toxicity, Lyme disease, chronic inflammation, and the complex conditions that refuse to fit inside a single diagnosis. You don't have to keep treating the smoke while the fire goes untouched. Your home was never meant to be the thing makes you sick. And your body has never meant to merely endure the place you live. It was meant to come alive in it. So there's only one thing I will ask you to do today. Stop fighting your biology and start listening to it. That is where the soil begins to change. And when the soil changes, the body remembers exactly how to heal.